And just like that, we are now back. What is up, people? My name is Jake.
And I am Zan. Hello, hello.
And
Hi,
welcome back
everyone.
to the Esports Rewind podcast. Yet again, the break is already done, Zane. It's just like that, man. It flies on by.
Just like it was yesterday, in fact.
It actually feels like we just left the office and now we're back all over again, and we're into the swing of things. Zan is actually here. By the way, pre-recorded podcast. Thank you all for watching, breaking down the latest and weirdest and craziest in gaming and esports news. Zan is actually here on a day off to record this one, which we much appreciate.
Just coming by to say hey,
Really quickly before we hop into it, how was holiday, my man?
Hey, I loved it. Spent a lot of time just chilling, taking it easy in bed, like watching The Witcher. That was cool.
Oh, I've only heard good things from the team so far.
It was pretty all right. It's pretty all right.
And that's on Netflix, right?
I believe so.
I'm going to give that a watch.
Yeah, well, Netflix sponsor us.
Yeah. Hashtag ad to start this one off. Actually not, though, but really good to be back for all of you guys.
How about you? How was your break? Real quick.
Thank you.
They're waiting to hear how you're doing.
I wasn't expecting to. Yeah. It was good, man. For anyone listening audio-wise, I'm looking right at you. Went back to Iowa for 4 days. Got to see Mama, Papa, and the rest of the fam and friends. Was super busy. Blessed as always, but also blessed to be back here. So shall we get it rolling there, Zane?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's hop into it. All right, so Zan, as per usual, I think it's like the third week in a row. We're going to mention FaZe Clan here, man.
Hey, let's do it. I'm about it. Highlight from the weekend, I saw a dude in a FaZe champion hoodie. First time ever.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wow, what? Crazy. Sorry, again, we always do this. I saw one on a TikTok, a random kid out there, a viral TikTok wearing a FaZe champion hoodie. And in a podcast, I saw one of the guys, a True Geordie podcast, one of the guys, I think it was I'm Alex, was wearing, or Will N.E. What'd you see?
Probably Will N.E. Like, I was just like, just at some random boba tea shop. Like, there's just
you meant local here?
Yeah, like local. Like, ran into the guy and was like, hey, what's up?
FaZe is doing some great things.
Yeah,
and
real talk.
They are literally, I was going to tweet out over the weekend, they are taking over alongside 100 Thieves. With that being said, though, I think we've talked about Lead Shrink a couple times. I think Lead Shrink trickles down a lot of smart things throughout the clan. Recent rumors actually brought to us by Keemstar.
Ooh.
Rarity here for us in the esports gaming section.
Yo, hit us up, Keem. Where's that?
No.
Slide back through.
We're fine. It actually brings us a potential leaked clip out there. And thanks to Misery in our Discord as well for clearing things up a bit, but still a genius move. I think they are potentially leaving LA for elsewhere. Rumor would say the landlord was actually in the clip. He pretty much says that FaZe wanted out of their lease for 2 houses. Those 2 houses are set to be sold for around $50 million.
Nice chunk of change.
And what FaZe Clan was paying every single month for those 2 homes was approaching $85,000. Obviously a huge expense. We've talked about it time and time again here on the show, how expensive, and of course the bubble in esports. So how can an esports organization possibly fathom that $83,500 every single month for 2 houses is worth it? With that, though, I kind of was riding the train of FaZe Clan as super genius for doing this because they've had their time in LA, right?
Yeah,
when it comes time for any team out there to make it worth it, the connections and the content from LA, I would say it is FaZe Clan. If they can do it elsewhere for a cheaper price and save a ton of money, this just simply makes sense. They've had a string of cloud houses, had a string of content houses, and supposedly we'll be leaving at least a couple of those behind. And so I kind of just lead the question to you. First of all, where do you think they're going? And second of all, do you think this is a smart move, a necessary move? What do you think about this in general?
Well, baseline, if they're going anywhere, it's probably Atlanta. Now that they have the Atlanta FaZe, it makes the most sense. I could very much see part of the reason they got to keep the FaZe name is that they're moving the entire organization to Atlanta, and maybe they talked that out with the Call of Duty League, and they're like, hey, we're trying to embrace this as like a real forefront of our brand is the Atlanta FaZe, so it makes more sense to let us keep our logo where everyone else lost theirs. Also, Atlanta is very much a home to a lot of the rap community. Our video editor, Pete, was saying, it's very true. There's a lot of, and FaZe Clan is very deeply invested in that part of like just culture and community in general. I could see them trying to work their way more into that. They haven't had a lot of success so far. They're doing pretty well, but like not like deep success, Is so far as, is it a smart move? Yeah, probably financially speaking, 100%, right? Because it just makes more sense when you could probably put a bunch of people up in probably nicer mansions for like half the cost in Atlanta versus LA, where all the housing there is some of the most expensive in the country, I believe.
Yeah, and obviously there's plenty of cities to choose from. I think there's obviously been people in our Discord as well talking about how they do have an HQ supposedly in California still, but outside of LA. And like I made note to as well, these are LA guys, right? They're used to
very
LA
much so.
culture.
Yeah.
And so seeing them make that cross-country move would also be kind of like, will
See,
they
which is
actually
why
do
I
it?
kind of don't think that they would, because at base level, I think what'll happen is maybe FaZe, as the giant corporation, closes its 2 content houses, their mansions, right? They sell those, and they just tell people, hey, if you want to live in Cali, we'll subsidize that. We'll throw a little bit towards you for your rent or whatever. And all those people who are, most of them have a good chunk of money themselves. I don't see why they wouldn't just choose to stay in LA independently.
Yeah, and that's certainly got to be an option as well. And at some point in time, we've seen organizations cut off that housing. Like, okay, you guys have obviously you found your base, and maybe again, like you said, they'll slip them some money here and there. You can live where you want. We're only going to pay you so much. There's so many options right now, and with the clip being surfaced, there's still so many possibilities. They've obviously become one of the most well-known LA teams, but they are not the only ones. And so either way, I would say the ultimate thing of this, wherever they do move, they're likely doing so to save at least a little bit of money or make new moves. And so I do think it's very smart as we do continue to see other organizations, Cronky Sports, we have 100 Thieves, Gen G, Immortals, the onwards and upwards. I would say organizations, maybe not so 100 Thieves, but do not really do that much content where it's necessary to be in LA.
Yeah.
And so I think, if they're going to make this move, I'm going to trust FaZe on this one. It's likely the smart choice.
The way I see it, if I was just a money guy, I'd say that's 2 houses, that's 2 franchise league spots.
Yeah.
At 50 mil. That's that just taken care of. If we get rid of that expenditure,
when you bring it out to 80 grand a month for the 2 homes, obviously that equates to a lot over time. Maybe not when it comes to it.
Obviously, yeah, it's not like a first chunk of change.
But to that point, that obviously means that could mean that's player salaries for an entire team at some level. So I think we're going to trust FaZe on this one. I'm very curious to see definitely where they do relocate, if at all.
Okay, Jake, I got a little bit of a different topic for you today.
All right.
Something I've just been thinking about quite a bit, and I thought it was only fair to address, since for the past couple weeks we've been talking a lot about Call of Duty Modern Warfare and the variety of problems it has, specifically with the tick rate and the lag issues, and how it's really making the experience bad for people, how they're really just they're dropping out of the game because of it, right? I thought it was only fair to talk about how fighting games are way worse.
Oh,
just
okay.
across the board.
A twist.
A
twist of a topic. We're back to the FGC.
Real quick. But anyway, so if anybody ever talks about or asks about what is the biggest problem holding fighting games back, I'll always go back and say it's netcode and internet stability, right? Because if you go online and play a game right now, you could have good internet, other person could have okay internet, and just because of the way the netcode is set up, your match is going to be lagging like crazy and it's going to be borderline unplayable, right? Pardon me. Now, for most games, this is kind of a weird, who knows, maybe it's fixable, maybe it isn't type situation, right? But for fighting games, there's very specifically already a solution that was made back in 2015, 2016, maybe even earlier. And companies are just yeah, we're chilling, though. That's hard. We're not learning how to do that.
There's a solution. They're not picking it up.
Already established. It's free for anybody to use on any game whatsoever. And a bunch of indie devs have already implemented it, and it works great, and it's just perfect.
Have indie devs implemented it into fighting games?
Yes, they have. A couple
All right, so what's this widespread solution that people aren't picking up on?
So just to lay down the groundwork, the way a lot of current games work is based off of delay-based netcode, right? Where, say, your internet and my internet not necessarily in sync, right? Game will say, okay, to make things kind of fair, we're gonna force a hard delay. So all of your moves might come out, let's say, 5 frames later than they would have normally, just to compensate for the difference in internet connection, right?
Okay.
So going up to maybe 10 frames, that's still doable. You can still make it work. But at 15 frames plus, completely unplayable, right? Not to mention that any frame delay at all ruins your combos half the times, because in a fighting game, it's very frame dependent. A lot of combos have oh, this is a 3-frame link. You have to hit that 3-frame window. If you're anywhere outside of that, the move doesn't come out and you're screwed. Now, the new system is something called GGPO. Invented by a guy named, what's his name? I always forget.
His name is Gigi.
Tony Cannon.
Tony Cannon.
One of the Cannon brothers. He made a predictive rollback netcode called GGPO, as it stands for Good Game Peace Out. And basically what it does is the game on your end, locally, it reads all of your inputs, and as long as you input the move correctly, it'll come out 100% of the time, right? But if there's any lag between your connection and my connection, and say you moved, but I don't see it on my screen, Basically, all the game does is it reads all the frames, it kind of predicts what you might do, and then if it's wrong, it just rolls back to the last frame that was incorrect. And it just plays smoothly because it's a way easier to adapt to all of a sudden, hey, you're in a slightly different location in the space of maybe 3 to 5 frames than it is to adapt to, oh, I hit the button and the thing that I expected to happen just didn't happen.
You know, you picked a really confusing topic
I know,
to win
I know.
to bring on to these people.
Yeah.
So I'll try and give it a quick whirl for other people who are outside the fighting game community. I think this does continue to be an issue and always will be, just based on the fact that you can play people across your same nation or possibly even across the ocean, which is obviously much more of a rarity, but even towards East and West servers and potentially having those play against each other. We've seen it time and time again. With Call of Duty, this has been a big issue of you get these shots off, you watch the replay, your shots never went through. Same thing for Fortnite when it comes to taking walls. Same thing for CSGO. Connection really, really does matter for games like those. League of Legends, the same thing. And so just to give it a comparison, those games have not necessarily found their solutions besides just adding more and more servers. And therefore you
more
only...
complex there. Yeah, it's multiple people as opposed to just 2.
So a lot of their solutions is, okay, more servers, you only play against people around your side of the world or in your near your location. That way we kind of avoid that as much as possible. So is this a solution for people that play against each other from anywhere?
From anywhere. Like, it is the smoothest internet connection that I've been ever seen. Like, playing against people that I know, like in Japan or Europe, I might as well be playing next to them on the couch. Like,
see, you understand why that seems like a pretty remarkable claim?
Yeah, I do. And it's one of those things you kind of have to play in order to experience, because if you play a lot of the modern games, most of them have delay-based netcode. And a lot of people think that's fine because it's all they know how to play. But if you play something that's like a little bit more esoteric, like Killer Instinct, that has this like a variant of GGPO, it just works amazingly. It's borderline flawless.
So the question would be then, why is it not being implemented?
Mostly because, I mean, we know the reason, which is why it sucks. It's because most of the larger fighting games are made by Japanese developers, and they're very stubborn about doing things the way they've done them for years. And they have a very specific way they do netcode. And so every few months, a dev will come out and say, hey, I'm looking into this whole GGPO rollback thing. I think it sounds pretty interesting. And the whole community goes like, yes, finally, thank you. And then a couple months later, he's like, yeah, that's difficult. I really like it. It's very interesting. Seems like it works really well, but
don't you trust him in saying that it's very difficult then?
I would, if not for the fact that so many other games have done it and it works. And so many indie games, like small 3-person teams, have just been able to, like, it's like you just slot it in, you just do the thing.
But you understand where where I'm coming from. Where if you see, it's tough to, I don't know, man. Because then it's tough to believe if it's really that easy why they aren't doing it. I'm not sure.
It's 100% stubbornness, and you know what? There's a countdown
clock. And this is your time to rise
up. And here's why this matters so much. There's a countdown clock until every single fighting game that chooses not to do this is completely screwed.
Yeah, I can see it in your eyes, man.
Why? The first company that Riot hired or like bought out to be part of their new fighting game was Tony Cannon's. The guy who made the netcode.
Oh, now I get you. See going. Okay, so you're pretty much saying that Riot is now going to be implementing what you hope in the future, and you think it could be.
There's no way they don't.
And you think this will definitely change the market a little bit.
Yeah, I think who knows if the game will be good, but it'll play well. You'll be able to play online smoothly. Like perfectly.
Well, hopefully that kind of thing then sparks the notion in other developers that, hey, we got to do this because Riot's entering the scene and they're doing it too.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm just hoping Riot doesn't like
screw it up somehow.
Like, yeah. I just hope they don't implement like other problematic things that they're also just like, oh, let's take all that too. Let's just do that.
Riot doesn't have that many games to work on, do they? They haven't announced like a dozen titles for next year.
It's not like they're really stretching themselves.
I'm sure the fighting game will be top notch top quality on their list.
I mean, one can only hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I just felt like highlighting something that was wild to me, that we know the solution to the problem. Everybody is screaming, just fix the problem, and they're like, maybe.
Well, hey, maybe we can only hope for 2020. I don't know the projected timeline for the Riot fighting game.
Yeah, it's not anytime soon, I don't think.
Not anytime soon?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it can be fixed soon. Competition, we've said it time and time again. Competition breeds excellence. We've seen it with the whole Stadia and now Microsoft entering and obviously other competitors too. So hopefully this is the same case, man.
Hopefully. I don't know. These devs are very stubborn.
I hope your words can help benefit the fighting game community because I can see it in your goddamn eyes that you want this to happen.
Yeah. Please.
If there's anything we can talk about that's a hot topic besides FaZe Clan or, rest in peace Optic, it's probably Ninja around this time of year, Zan.
Absolutely, master bread chef.
Yeah, he's been on his PR stint. We've talked about him time and time again for a variety of reasons. He's certainly been on a variety of shows, variety of, I would say, a lot of things out there outside the streaming realm, trying to expand his brand. Some things rightfully so, some things maybe questionably so. This latest debate out there is that of his recent rant on Twitter, actually talking about how content creators, streamers, creators out there for many games have been taking to Twitter to give negative feedback and not constructive criticism towards the games they play. Now, I think a lot of us can maybe agree that he was probably trying to talk about people like Dakotaz from Fortnite, Tfue from Fortnite. He was also trying to target maybe potentially not only Fortnite creators bashing the game and just calling it garbage without giving it actual, legitimate complaints about what they can fix, what they can do better, but also maybe Call of Duty as well was mentioned in his video. And so just quick thoughts on this as well, because I think a lot of sides in this made some fair points and some valid arguments, Ninja being one of them. His main overall argument is that a lot of these streamers and these content creators, they have much more power than they know, and they simply, by tweeting out some negative stuff, they're not helping their case, they're not helping the game's case, and if you want to better both sides, give constructive feedback. And so what are your immediate thoughts on this? Because I think the first backlash that he got because of this was, of course, because, he has a brand. He is not stuck solely to one game, right? It's
right, of course.
he has a brand. He can play a few games. I would say multiple games out there, and he can make a living. He has already made a living off of gaming. He's not only solely tied to Call of Duty or to Fortnite for an income. Whereas these other streamers who bash the game, they clearly are.
Yeah, they don't have anywhere else to go, realistically.
So what's your thoughts on this when he targets these people who hate on the game and don't give constructive feedback?
Well, I think it is really just Ninja up in his ivory tower, just shouting down at all the plebs who and thinking
oh no, this is a drastic take. I didn't expect this, to be honest.
No, I just feel like it's such an ignorant thing of him to say from the perspective of, okay, if he just wanted to give constructive criticism, right? No skin off his back. If he doesn't want to play a game, he can just go play something else, right? For anybody else, especially with a game like Fortnite, where I think a lot of people can agree, the community really doesn't like a lot of Epic Games decisions. And it's not like Epic Games isn't aware of what the community wants. Obviously, they have to be. There's no way they don't know, this portion of the community wants this portion of the community wants that. And in a large part, they don't even address that. They're just like, here's what we're doing, though. It might be a complete left turn, but, we wanted to do it. And, y'all can go do whatever. You're still here, whatever. And I can understand how that's very frustrating. Even if you weren't making content, if this was just a game you loved, if you love everything about the game, it'd be so much better with a small change. And the dev is like, then I kind of don't see a huge problem with a content creator just talking some trash about a problem that
is clearly trash.
Yeah, especially when there's so much constructive criticism out there. And I have yet to have heard of many instances where a streamer has actually gone out and said, hey, this one thing in the game really causing some problems, guys.
And then Epic actually fixes it.
Yeah, right.
To that point, it's a fair point. I understand where Ninja's trying to come from, but it can be hard when people see him coming from a spot where he's already well off. He doesn't really need to, constructively criticize a game or just give negative feedback because there's just, there's really no need. He can simply play another game. A lot of these people, they get all their viewership. Ninja does as well, though, right? But he can afford to lose. He does not. He's clearly stated he does not care about viewers.
He could not make any more money, and probably
he has said this himself. He does not care about viewers. Dakotaz and Tfue and these Call of Duty guys, they clearly do. To your point, though, as well, you can only constructively criticize so much when it's not changed. What are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to reach that breaking point eventually, like these streamers have time and time again. But then you go back to Ninja's point, people like Tfue have really complained a lot about the game and maybe not given too much constructive criticism. So it's hard to see both sides fully. I think we've seen plenty of comments saying Ninja's a snowflake or Dakotaz complained about nothing. This is a pointless argument. At the end of the day, it's kind of funny to just realize where we are in gaming, where we got grown men.
Yeah, right.
Complaining about video games.
We circled back around.
Being a hot topic.
From grown men. It used to be, I remember the headlines where it's like, 2 people got in a fight over a video game. Oh, wow. What? Shocking. And then we circled back to when that was normal and nobody talks about it. And now we're back to 2 men arguing about a video game. Whoa, shocking.
Yeah, it's a wild time. I think
more money involved.
There certainly is. And I think it's interesting to kind of dissect all of the perspectives because it's tough to actually cover all of them. And I guess we'll see where this goes in
Absolutely.
the future, because certainly Ninja comes from a place where not many other people are. And I don't know. It opens it up
I
for a
think
lot
he
of
should just
debate.
shut up when it comes to this type of thing.
I think he finds it very tough too.
I know.
And
I know
then-
I think he sees himself as the ambassador for esports, the ambassador for gaming. I'm Big Bro Ninja, guys. I'm the one with the Adidas sponsorship. But like, real talk, y'all
But
make it.
he did break a lot. He's brought
Yeah,
us.
he's done a lot of great things. You did your things. Go away now. You're starting to make us look bad. You hit the hump. Now you're trending back downwards into like.
I'll leave it on this. Dakotaz did actually.
Yeah.
He referenced a couple of
Yeah.
Drake lines, and he actually
I
said,
didn't see that.
"You
That's
did
the
see
only,
that?"
That's the only thing out of it. I don't know what he was complaining about.
I think
don't know
everyone's curious what the heck he knows,
Uh-huh.
because he threatened to expose something he knows, and then even Ninja's wife getting involved and says, "You have zero to expose." So we will keep you all posted on.
Yeah,
exactly.
why even respond if there's nothing?
I'm
like right away too. Like
Ooh.
she had that phone on, like
She was
in
all-
the holster. She was like,
What he's
Twitter,
dude,
Twitter. The shortcut was open.
We will see in these coming days. I think Dakota's not going to expose
Yeah,
anything.
probably not, probably not.
Dear God, and the army that would come after him, but also go after. Yeah, it would be insane.
yeah.
So we'll leave it at that.
The esports civil war.
Begins. Oh, dude, that's a great headline.
Yeah.
Hopefully not going to happen anytime soon.
So I just had something I wanted to hear your opinion on real quick, Jake, because I find it really fascinating. It's a great thing to see. But anyway, pardon me, Valve just filed a lawsuit against a tournament runner called GESC for failing to pay talent from 2 Dota 2 minor events.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, it's over. They owed over $750,000 allegedly in payments to like talent, players.
See, that's just
teams.
insane, because
Yeah,
that's
right?
a lot of
That's
money.
a lot of money.
Like-
that is so close to $1 million.
I think that's like that. I think that might be a record breaker for what we've covered in terms of what someone owes.
Yeah, like a pure dollar amount.
For
like, yeah.
especially for a TO.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah.
other one we covered was like WESG, sponsored by Ali Sports, and that was paid once they were called out. That was
Right.
$500K.
Yeah.
And even that was like, whoa, but 750,000
Yeah.
owed to multiple people and teams.
Across, like that is just insane. No wonder Valve is taking them to court.
Well, it takes Valve.
Yeah.
It takes that to get Valve out of the house.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, 750K, I guess.
Oh yeah. Gabe's like sifting through the couch for some extra like hundreds. He's like, oh, you know,
I guess we
could
could
go.
sue them today.
Yeah, why not? But no, it's just like I'm happy to see they're finally getting to it with a relatively quick turnaround too. Because
I would say so.
yeah, lawsuits take a good second. So it's only been like a little bit over a year.
Yeah,
and
it makes
already,
you
like,
wonder at what point were they like, all right, we're going to start this process now. It was probably quite some time ago.
Yeah.
But I wonder after what complaint? After
yeah,
like
right?
how many complaints
Right.
were like, all right, we'll look into it. But
Yeah, I
I'm
imagine
glad
listening
they
to
are
quite a
finally
few.
responding.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, I could see this same thing happening with Starladder pretty soon.
I mean,
they just got called out. Those are also Valve hosted events. for
Yeah,
CS:GO
yeah,
Dota.
and I think with
Yeah.
the Starletter stuff, it's been mostly resolved. Starletter has come forward, but again, with a great response time, once they were called out, I don't know if there was any pressure from Valve, but certainly from the community there was. Richard Lewis and others, it was a lesser amount. It was strictly talent, I do believe.
Yeah, I
but
think
then
so.
right away they were like, "Hey, yeah, we paid it out. Everyone will be paid by like today." So are there any other details besides them being just Dota minors?
all we know is that we know that. I mean, the lawsuit was basically just filed like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So all we know is that it exists. It's going through. It's going to court very soon. We should hear more after the first hearings about whether or not the money is actually getting paid out.
I mean,
and how it's going to work.
if-
And Valve has already said they're done doing business with this organization.
Yeah.
Like they're like cutting ties.
It makes you wonder then how long this process has really been dragged out. If
Yeah.
someone like WESG or Ali Sports, I should say, is still allowed to sponsor their events, and now
Right.
Valve's going to cut ties here. But then it's just 2 Dota minors. They had to pay zero. Who'd they pay? Because I imagine that's the entire prize pool for both, and like all the talent. Like how much?
Yeah, I don't know where did that money go.
Like
That's a lot of money to disappear.
I'm curious
Like,
of the percentage of people who got paid. How many were not? Like was it we paid like we didn't pay like 98% of.
We paid Bob, the sound guy, because we
Yeah.
really liked his mixing on the intro music, but the players, we feel like they didn't really give their all on the field.
And
today.
then like where's the money? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's wild to me to think that this organizer probably didn't make their money back, and so that's why they're
Probably
not
not,
paying.
yeah.
And so you kind of feel bad on that end of things.
At the same time, though, that's probably just poor organization. I mean, you hear so often about like people thinking, oh, I can just throw a conference. It's next year we'll just do it, and not realizing like how much money they need to put in and how much like organizational talent needs to go in and how much time needs to go in.
Yeah.
It's like
They're like, oh,
all
we'll
in
put
that-
on some Dota events. We'll make 750K back.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah,
like, maybe
easy.
100 or 200. Like, we can't pay a goddamn person. Makes me curious how Call of Duty League is going to turn out.
Yeah. You're telling me. I can't wait to see the documentary about the Call of Duty League in like 10 years. It's like the destruction of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The end of Call.
We paid $25 million for a spot. The first season ticket sales got back after the 12 team or whatever team
We made
split.
$50.
Yeah, we made $500 from ticket sales last year. Frick.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. At the end of the last segment, I brought up Call of Duty League because that's my last topic.
All right, let's hit it.
We got a brand new Call of Duty League investor. I'll try and keep this short.
Ooh, I saw this, yes.
As we usually do. That's going to be Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, the legend.
Welcome him, folks, to the Call of Duty League, to esports, to gaming. I will give his quick background. I thought it was pretty cool, to be honest. You know, I don't know if it's the most financially savvy thing, but Michael B. Jordan grew up in New Jersey. He considers himself a New Yorker, though, where I think he currently resides. He's Creed. He's Killmonger. And I always is it Killmonger or Killmonger? Do you kind of like halfway pronounce the G in that?
I think it's Killmonger.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was like
it's been a second since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I saw the movie and saw Michael B. and I was like, God, this is weird. Now to be covering a story where it's a celebrity again, and we know so many now. It's almost like
it's almost like who doesn't have money in esports? What are you doing?
And you know, there's plenty that do, and we don't even know about them.
Yeah.
I would love to know the numbers he put into the team. He actually put into Andbox, who of course are tied to both Call of Duty League and Overwatch.
To be fair, I felt like Andbox is the most financially responsible decision so far as
How
companies
so?
to invest in. I think Andbox is making all the right moves, right? Obviously, they've decided to hitch their wagon to Activision Blizzard and the Overwatch League and Call of Duty League, right? But they're also doing a lot more with like very local brand building. They're hosting a lot of events constantly.
They're very
hosting
authentic.
Concerts.
The
Yeah,
New York vibe.
Yeah, they're very much community based. They got their own clothing line. That's it's not great, but it's better than most esports clothing.
Yeah.
It's like it's at least something. I wouldn't hate wearing it. I wouldn't wear it, but I wouldn't hate wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're making sure that if they lose money on the league, they can still support themselves in other way, I think.
Yeah, and then Michael also came out and said that, you know, he's not here for a quick cash grab. I make the point, well, good, because you're probably not going to make that cash back. He likes to put his name on things. And so, obviously, if he has some wealth now accrued, and he also came from Call of Duty, apparently he grew up playing that game, which, you know, I suppose there's a game out there that you're going to grow up playing.
Yeah, it's going to be that.
Call of Duty is very recognizable.
Or Halo.
And so it's super cool to see a guy who grew up on that, obviously in the gaming, obviously into New York, now get to support his local team and be an investor into what could be something big.
See, I
just hope we didn't overpay.
Yeah, so do I. I hope some dude didn't come in and show him a bunch of fake numbers and go like.
You have to wonder how it went down.
Yeah, really, because I feel like it'd be so easy for the Call of Duty investors or somebody from Activision Blizzard
manipulate
to just because they have all the numbers, so they can make it look like whatever they want to.
No, you sit down with a guy like Michael B. or anyone who now has money, and I'm probably the same way. You know, a guy who just wants to put his name on something local, and that's super cool. Like, oh yeah, I own part of the Call of Duty franchise for New York.
Right? That'd be amazing. Sick. That
itself is worth so much to people, and the potential that people you likely have. I can't guess what went on in that room. You likely have some big wig coming in there and saying, Michael, NFL, NBA, MLB.
CDL.
You know when CDL. You know who bought into those leagues years and years ago, and now those leagues and franchise teams are worth billions? That's the future of CDL. And they come in and say, we got Gary V. We got 12 teams. Is it 12 teams? I think it's 12 teams.
I think it's 12.
Each paying $25 million. We want you to be a piece of that, man.
They're saying like stuff
and all of a sudden he's just sold. All right,
right, yeah.
You're telling me it could in the future be worth You tell anyone who has money that there's potential to be billions, and it's like maybe a couple million. I would imagine it's anywhere from a couple 100,000 to a couple million, probably in that range. Very vast range.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got money, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I would say investing in esports. If I had the money, I would do it too.
I probably would too.
Yeah.
Now, I would probably take note of what I'm investing. I would probably be a League of Legends guy myself now.
Yeah, same here.
But
you know, I go straight to the root. How can I invest in Tencent?
Yeah, honestly, which is probably not even a possibility anymore. But yeah, Michael B joins the list, the long, ever-growing list of esports investors, and definitely one of the cooler ones, and certainly the most recent one. Who will be next?
All right, Jake. This last story is something like amazing, brilliant, phenomenal. I hate it. I hope it never happens again.
That is such a Zan line. And now people are really no one need to build up standards here.
Well, I mean, I think
it's
they'll understand
fantastic.
what I'm
It's
talking
magical.
about for a second.
I despise it all.
Yeah, it's the worst thing. Please, never again. So And then you're gonna be surprised. The next words that are coming out of my mouth are Star Wars.
Jesus.
But we're still talking gaming, not talking about the movie at
Are
all.
we talking? I'm not going to try and
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wait. Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about to some extent. So anyway, in the next movie, if it's not really spoilers, they've advertised the heck out of this.
Yeah,
right?
shut up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, if you really aggressively care,
Click away.
just give it a second. Skip ahead give it 5 minutes. Skip ahead 5 minutes, right? Anyway, so Emperor Palpatine from the first set of movies is back, right? And they don't explain this in the movie. The only thing they say to reveal, oh, he's back, is in the beginning of Star Wars movies. There's always this text crawl you gotta read through.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I appreciate this detail.
Yeah. There's this text crawl. You got to read through it.
I've seen that.
It gives you like a brief highlight. Oh, what was going on since the last movie, right?
Yeah.
And at the very beginning, it just says, "The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge, in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine." Right?
Wow, it feels like I'm in the movie.
Yeah, but it just says that, right? And you don't hear the message. You don't get a scene where
that
it's
a
like
big thing?
Palpatine is back.
Is
Yeah,
that
he died at the end of episode 6, and now we're in episode 9, and all of a sudden he's back.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Cool.
So it's like it's kind of out of nowhere. They didn't like say in episode 7 like, "Oh, look out, there's a guy in a dark cloak over there." He just all of a sudden, "Hey guys, I'm back. Emperor Palpatine here."
Okay, I'll try and make a quick reference off the top of my head for Lord of the Rings fans. Avani, the elf that helped him out at Helm's Deep, he dies at Helm's Deep. Let's just spoil everything while we're at it. If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings by now, frick you.
Voldemort dies.
Yeah, but that's like
Yeah.
having another trilogy come out and all of a sudden end of that trilogy.
All of a sudden,
Avani, the King Elf's back.
He just, "Hey guys."
I don't know why I needed to make a comparison.
he just pops up out of nowhere like, "Hi."
I needed this for myself.
No, hey, by all means.
Anyway.
I'm sure it helps a couple people out there too.
I
right?
hope so.
But anyway, so Fortnite was doing a Star Wars collaboration.
Yes.
And they showed the message from the Emperor. They were just like, let's include this very important plot detail. Let's just put that in Fortnite.
Because didn't they get the trailer as a part of the partnership?
It wasn't a trailer. It was actually the scene where Palpatine reveals, "Hey, I'm back, guys," and threatens the galaxy and tells everybody what he's doing.
Was that before the movie release?
Yeah, that was right. It was only in Fortnite. You had to be in Fortnite to watch it, or you had to watch somebody watching that inside of Fortnite.
We almost covered this because it was very big, just the fact they had that. So are you upset that the game revealed something in the movie before the movie was
that is an important thing to see, and that's a plot point. Like I love the collaboration.
That's actually really crazy.
That's like don't straight shift. Like I can appreciate if they'd had it in Fortnite as well, right? As like kind of like as a teaser. Kind of like, hey, you know what, this is what you can look forward to. Big news, everybody, right? But don't then in the movie itself where that footage should be, just have it be like a line of text, a sentence.
Did they know? Did we know this was going to be a big spoiler before it happened?
We knew that.
Like, are other people upset by this, or is this kind of?
I don't know if anybody else is upset about this.
Okay.
Well, no, actually, no, I do because I didn't watch the movie myself. I'm not interested. I'm done with Star Wars.
Okay, you can't say that after having an argument against. Yeah, he takes that back, guys.
No. I'm done with
it
this.
defeats the purpose of your argument.
No, I don't want this to be a thing with other movies ever. I don't want to ever go into a movie and then be like, "Oh shoot, I didn't watch the scene in Fortnite. Now I don't know what's going on." I don't want to have to be paying attention to even for like a game that I like. I don't want to have to boot up Destiny.
But did the scene in Fortnite reveal anything that was not shown in the movie?
Yeah, it showed the actual message from Palpatine. Where in the movie it just says, the galaxy hears a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge, and then in Fortnite it shows you what the broadcast is. So if you don't see the broadcast at all. You don't know what was said at all. You have to go and watch it in Fortnite.
Xanifer, here's my thing.
Dumb.
Movie trailers exist.
Yeah.
Movie trailers come out before the movie, and often we have seen movie trailers reveal some pretty big things.
Yeah, but none of that.
So this is
like,
just a new version.
I've never seen a movie trailer where I'm like, or a movie rather, where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that in the trailer. Now I don't know. I don't have this additional piece of detail.
I feel like it could be argued, man.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm all for having
I see
a
this
trailer
really bothered you
or a scene or anything. I don't want actual content to be removed from movies and placed into games.
I can tell by the number of times you're hitting the goddamn table. Sorry for any carpenters out there.
Yeah, it just really bothers me that we're at a point where like, hey, great, love the collaboration, cool stuff. We're making moves to the community, but don't do this, guys. Like, come on, this ain't it.
Let's see what you guys think about this, because I'll try and weigh the balances here.
Mm.
I don't see it as being too big of an issue. I honestly, I was on the first part that you said there. This is crazy that Fortnite gets a movie trailer in the first place.
But it's not a trailer, though. That's the thing. If it was a trailer, it'd be fine. It's actual content.
You know what? I'm happy for him. I don't like the fact that I got to be inside of a game to watch it.
Yeah.
But if that's the future and if this helps gaming, then that's the standpoint I'm with.
Don't make that the fix. Get rid of that.
But
feature.
if they do this with a movie and a
turn.
trilogy that I love,
Swerve.
I'm coming after them. I understand to a degree your anger, but we'll see if the people out there had the same, level. All right, Zan. Well, let's get you on your way, man. Get you back on your little break. Any closing statements for the people out there still watching?
Yeah, as always. Hey, hope you guys had a happy holidays, happy New Year's. Everybody listening, I think it should be New Year's Eve, somewhere around there.
Somewhere close.
Yeah,
2020 is gonna be crazy, man.
Absolutely. Big time for us and the community as a whole. But anyway, if you want to listen to us on the go, you can find us on the Prediction Esports Talk Show Network. That is PREEDICTION. We're on your favorite podcast streaming platforms. We're on iTunes, Spotify. If you listen to it, we're there. So hit us up. Also, you can always find us on YouTube at Esports Talk. If you're an audio listener, we appreciate y'all too. Don't forget
I love you.
Come in, come like, comment, subscribe. We got the video podcasts up there every week. Also, hit us up on Twitter. We love hearing from y'all. DMs all day, every day. Slide through.
Love you guys.
Open. We love just hearing from you guys,
And we love covering the stories you guys want covered.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Yeah.
On top of that, YouTube channel as per usual. Same things coming, but some big things coming for 2020. And we really do appreciate you guys, to do this kind of stuff every single day. Is that it for everyone, Zane?
I think so, yeah.
Well, until next time, guys, same day, same time, every single week, the Esports Rewind podcast with Zane and Jake, or Zan and Jake, whatever you do want to call them. Until then,
either or.
Take care of yourselves. We'll see you guys back here next time. Geeks.